All right, back again. Just doing some new kind of stuff for a friend of mine who really is into World War I. So these are Austrian ammo pouches. You can see like right here. So, you know, right now I've cut out most of the parts. So now when you're cutting stuff out, just be super careful. Sometimes it's like, oh, well, let's talk about like the weight and stuff. So for kind of ammo pouches, some parts, you're gonna need a couple different weights of leather. Now you could, if you have a big skyver, you could probably get away with doing something heavy duty, and then going down from there. You know, we're gonna talk a lot about what tools you'll definitely need. Now you don't have to use a Japanese skiving knife. You could do everything with an X-Acto blade, but I definitely prefer the X-Acto blade for going around the curves. Now it doesn't always come out the way you want it to, but remember the first thing you gotta do when you put your pattern down, thusly, you gotta take your scratch off and go around it and scratch as hard as you can. Well, not as hard as you can, a good depth, so you have a channel for the razor to go into. This is kind of where I think that people like really need to like invest in like a set of cheapo X-Acto knives. So you can see I'm just gliding the blade where I put the scratch off. You could probably, let me see if I'm getting this right here. You could see the line. That's just the scratch. Over here is the cut. So you take it slowly. Let me see. Oh, probably my hand is blocking. You take your X-Acto knife and you go along that line. Make sure you have good light as well. This is kind of a daytime project. I've tried doing this kind of stuff at night. It has never worked out for me. So you slowly go around. I'm going to show you how to like a lot of companies, like you'll see, you could tell when someone is using chrome tanned leather because they'll do tiny grooves in the leather. Now, I'm not saying that like chrome tanned leather is like inauthentic or whatever, I'm just saying that's a telltale sign. Yeah, you see I got a little grumba there. I'm gonna have to clean that out. Now I take this and I don't know, you can see it. I kind of like go along there. Now, when these are probably mass produced, they probably had like cutting machines or steam powered cutting machines where they'd have a die and they just cut it out for you. I doubt they were doing it by hand. Some things are done by hand. You'll be surprised like how modern like military equipment now, what I'm considering modern is post World War One. I might even put some Civil War stuff in the modern era per se. I like to just use my little Japanese skiving knife, slowly get this guy around. You see, whoop. All right, whoop. Whoop. All right. Yeah, we're gonna have to do some sand now with these kind of pieces like this. you're gonna have to sandpaper. It's not gonna come out perfect, unfortunately. I mean, some guys are pretty good at cutting. I'm not the best at cutting. I'm sorry I have to do it like this, but this is like the easiest way for me to do it. You can see it's not the best, but it's coming along. You know, these little parts right here, I barely scratched it, so I'm gonna have to like really, I'm gonna turn on some more lights. All right, yeah. So I turned on some more lights, and I think the fan is going because it's a little hot in here. Now you see around this part right here, and then you glide your blade over this piece, and this is almost free. We got this free. We got a little grumper right here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah, I think maybe I need to set it up, this whole thing. You can see right here. And then I like, just, boop. I just push down. You don't need to like cut it all the way through. Now you need this part. Cut, and you're like, boop. Now you're almost done. Let me see, is this free? Oh, got a few little. Yeah, you definitely, if you're new at this, get the Japanese skiving knives. Like, they replace so many tools. They're expensive. They're very expensive, but I hate to say it's kind of worth it, because you are going to need to like, you're going to need to skive to make your stuff look like. I didn't know that kind of stuff. I've always kind of had to learn on my own through my own mistakes. Not getting good. Like, you want to get good fast, so it's fun. Struggling at shit. Struggling at stuff. Guess what, guys? Anyone who says, "Oh, struggling builds character," is full of malar. They're lying to you, because struggling at stuff doesn't always equal it doesn't build character. Guys who say, "Oh, they have to do minimal work." In general, like, it's okay to like work hard. I'm not saying hard work doesn't pay off, but there's definitely something to be said about things that just come naturally to people, and not everything comes natural, you know. And sometimes not being good at something is definitely just being set up for failure. So I try to tell you guys, get the Japanese skiving knives if you can. See this little piece right here? I'm going to hit that with the sander. It's where your sandpaper comes in handy. Alright, now you see, this piece is the top flat. Now, because this is a piece of chrome tan, it turns, and you got to go like that. But it's too thick right here, and you don't want bulk. So I am now going to attempt to thin this down a bit. Don't cut yourself on camera. Rule number 1. Trying to get your... Now I got a lot of different options for skiving, which is kind of a necessity in leather craft, because you want to reduce bulk, especially when you're trying to like make something look nice. So you got these little guys. Where's my other jump? Oh, here it is. You can use one of these. I like these too. I started out with one of these. I didn't really understand how to use it. I just kind of like just shave yucky stuff at the end off. I need to definitely get a new blade in here. That's why it's not working that great. Usually just black. I just get the... Just guy this down a little. You want to reduce bulk. Reducing bulk is important. Okay, let's see how this folds now. It's getting there. And with veg tan you can manipulate, and that looks good, right? Kind of. Needs a little bit more remove right here. So I don't think you can see what I'm doing. Sometimes you gotta let your leather dry a little bit. I put a little bit of water on this. Alright. There. Alright. Alright. This has got to dry up a little bit. And then I'm going to have to sand this. You want to kind of wait till it's a little dry. I don't know. I haven't had great luck with... Yeah, don't... These are pretty sharp, so don't, like, cut yourself or anything. Don't say, I told you to do that. Alright, you can get some of this off, but... In truth, you don't need a big sander. You could just use regular sandpaper. But we'll get into that. So, yep. And then you take this piece, you stitch it on, and slowly but surely, you're moving along. So, a lot of times when you use different grades of leather, or from different countries, or different, what do they call it, things, we'll just say they're gonna come in different color. Like I got this stuff from Kentucky. It's real brown, probably just from oxidation being outside. And then I got some other stuff from Mexico, a higher grade actually, and it was a little lighter. Like you can actually like see this is not wet, but this is similar, and it's pretty light, which is great for dyeing. You get a good dye job on that. Problem with dyeing, like any kind of like leather, you gotta use the pro dye, but mix it with alcohol. These are like, I've probably already gone through this, but it's real important that you learn that about dyeing, because number one, having a lot of different like colors of leather isn't always suitable. Now this is a French skiver. I love these guys. This guy does the job. Now it needs to get sharpened. This this needs sharpened. So I think I'm gonna call it quits here. And thanks guys, don't forget to hit the like button.